What up? K-Rugs, the sober dog, coming at you. Today, my 5 most dangerous drugs. The 5 most dangerous drugs I have done and why. Alright? Before I get into it, Sober Dogs does not promote or condone any drug use or alcohol use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. Recovery is possible. Alright, let's get right into it. My 5 most dangerous drugs. Coming in at number 5, I have K2 Spice, synthetic weed, whatever you want to call it. I've done a couple videos on K2 before. If you're curious on what is it and specific effects of it, I'll put the card up. You can check it out. All right. But the reason I have K2 at number 5 is how unpredictable it is. I said this in a couple other videos. I have smoked K2 where 4 or 5 people have each smoked their own joint, right to their own joint, the whole thing. Little bit of a, like a weed high, little bit of an effect. And then I have smoked K2 with 4 or 5 people all splitting one joint, and I was so high I couldn't function for about 8 hours. I also had a time where I split a jail joint with my bunkie in solitary confinement. So a jail joint is already tiny, like that size. In solitary, it's even smaller. I mean, it's literally like $1 of weed on the street, or like 50 cents. It's like 2 little sprinkles. And we each took maybe 2 hits of this thing. It was more paper than anything, but we were uncontrollably high for about 8 to 9 hours. Like shaking, couldn't talk, just so it is just so unpredictable. So that's number 5. Coming in at number 4, meth. Meth, as it is itself, is just unbelievably dangerous. You got meth psychosis, extreme paranoia, going nuts. A stat that's underlooked at is 10,000 people had a fatal meth overdose in 2017. 10,000 deaths from meth. That's insane. That's a lot. But all those, aside, the reason I put it at number 4 is meth is so addicting. So addicting. My one counselor in outpatient rehab told us 90% of people who try meth for the first time get addicted. Now, I've tried to find that same stat online. I can't find it. So I'm just going to say that she said that, but it doesn't seem too outlandish to me. Whatever, is going through your mind prior, if you're sober, the second you take a hit, all of that's out the window. It is a whole new reality of just, it's so addicting. I mean, you get so horny, so psychotic, just gone. It's crazy. All right, coming in at number 3, alcohol. Yep, alcohol. Why alcohol? Well, because it's so widely available. It's very downplayed as how dangerous it is in society because it's everywhere and it's legal. But also, when they say alcohol lowers your inhibitions, that is a fact. For me, for everyone I know, I could have the best discipline, best intentions going into the night of whatever it is. I'm not going to do any other drugs. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to hook up with random girls. I'm not going to drive. Whatever it is. The minute, a couple beers, couple drinks, couple shots get in my system, it just slowly starts melting away that part of my brain that is logic and judgment, and that little voice, that most of us have that's like, dude, terrible idea, don't do it. the more alcohol, that voice just gets drowned out and thrown out the window. The stupidest things seem like good ideas or okay. You know, I remember a friend of mine was driving us home one night. Everyone in the car was drinking. I was in the back of his hatchback car with the hatchback open. My feet and my buddy next to me's feet like kind of laying out the back of the car. The driver and another guy in the passenger seat. And this kid was known for driving fast. He had a fast car. You know, he's kind of a risk taker. He wasn't as drunk as us, but he was feeling good. And he's going like 100, 110 on this lake road in Webster. This road that is windy right on the lake, dark, curvy. You know, this is 2 a.m. and we're cheering him on. That is so dangerous. If you know, and if you knew this road, it is the word, like going 40, 45 on this road can be dangerous because of how many winds and turns and dark it is. And we're cheering him on to go faster. Ironically and sadly, the driver ended up dying in a similar accident. He was speeding, and I don't know if he was drinking or not, but ended up crashing his car and dying. So, you know, it's very sad, and I could have easily been with him, or it could have been that night. Coming in at number 2, hey, if you like our list, before I get to number 1, I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe, share Sober Dogs content. Thank you for being here watching. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you. Coming in at number 2, I got crack and cocaine used intravenously. So shooting it. Why? To me, so crack and coke are unbelievably addicting as it is. I don't think they are as addicting as meth. If they are an 8, meth is a 9 or a 10. But what makes them so addicting to me and so dangerous is the second if you shoot cocaine, inject it, or you smoke crack. I've done other videos on this. I'll put a card up of the effects of crack and coke. But you got your little high that goes on. You got your 5 minutes of peak high, sometimes not even 2-3 minutes. Then you got 5 more minutes of kind of mellow high, and then it slowly starts going down for the next 10 minutes. After that, like 20-25 minute mark, you go from, so if you start out, let's say, you know, here at a 10, like normal life, you take your hit and you go up to 100. After that 20-minute mark, 25-minute mark, you don't go back down to a 10. You don't go down to a 0. You go down to a -50 of depression and anxiety and misery that you will do anything for another hit. And that's why it's my number 2 on there. It is awful. Once you hit that period, when you are out of coke and you run out, and that last hit in about 25-30 minutes after that last hit is like, I have called every number in my phone book at that period. People I haven't talked to in 5, 7, 10 years. Grandparents at 4 a.m. Aunts and uncles I haven't seen in a year. People that have no idea how I even got their number. That is the point when I'm breaking in somewhere. I'm, you know, doing stuff that is so against my morals, even my morals as a full-blown addict, like things I say I would never do. You know, I would never, you know, rob a person at gunpoint or face-to-face. That point, all that stuff goes out the window. Whatever, whenever, wherever to get more. So that is why it is so dangerous to me. Number 1, most dangerous drug I've ever done, fentanyl. Fentanyl. I guess we could include heroin mixed with fentanyl in here, but fentanyl, period. That little bit of fentanyl can kill a grown adult. I have done fentanyl before. I have gone to the same dealer within an hour period. Went there, bought in 7 bags, left, did them, was high, whatever, you know, I don't know how high, but just kind of as a full-blown addict normal. Went back to that guy an hour later. He had different stuff in. I don't know if he mixed it or somebody else. Did one bag, boom, out, over, done. Now, I know people are going to say, you know, well, you already had 7 in your system, so that's why. That's a good point. You're right. I can name about 15 different examples of that same thing happening where there wasn't 7 prior in my system. Where I'll give you another example. In prison, I did dope a couple times in prison. The one time dope came in, the guy knew it was very strong. He gave it to a guy who was known for doing a ton to kind of test it. This guy did a half of a bag. This guy was solid 300 pounds, 6'4", 6'5". Did a half of a bag. Boom, out, unconscious, overdosed on the spot. They had to Narcan him, bring him out to the outside hospital. I got a bag of that same batch in prison after that happened, so now I'm nervous about it. So this is one bag that is already very tiny because we're in prison. You know, on the street I would have done 12, 13 of these bags if it was normal dope. And that one bag I split into 3 tiny little lines. I mean, I'm talking like, if you would have seen it, would have looked like 3 grains of salt. A third, a third, a third. I did the third. It was top 3 or 4 highest I've ever been in my life. Just within minutes, right on the edge of overdose. And I could, keep rattling off times like that. It is so dangerous because it is such a small amount, does so much damage, and the people mixing it have no idea what they're doing. I knew a dealer who, when he mixed it, he would mix, a little bit of fentanyl with a big bag of dope to increase the strength of the dope, but he would physically mix it so it mixed up with the dope very good. One time, apparently, he didn't mix it well, so one little batch of the big thing of dope was almost all fentanyl, and the guy who got it, died on the spot from it not being mixed well. People don't know what they're doing when they're mixing it. It is just so strong, such a little amount can do so much, so much damage. So fentanyl is my number one. Any form of fentanyl. There's even stronger, which is scarier. Carfentanil and things like that, which are freaking 100 times stronger than fentanyl, meant for elephants and rhinos, and just insanity. Again, that's my 5 most dangerous drugs. Thanks for coming to Sober Dog's channel. Hit that subscribe if you like our videos and want to see more. K Rugs, the Sober Dog, I'm out. See ya.